breaking news. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has announced he's suspending his independent presidential campaign and endorsing former President Donald Trump, but he's staying on the ballot in the states he wants to stay on the ballot in, so his name can still be there. But he's taking his name off the ballot in states where Trump is in key swing states, so he doesn't in any way hurt Donald Trump. There. All of this happening, of course, as Democrats hone their efforts to paint the former president as small and serious and weird. Here's what Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said this week at the DNC.
In many ways, Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious.
You know, when I was teaching every year, we'd elect a student body president. And you know what? Those teenagers could teach Donald Trump a hell of a lot about what a leader is.
Well, joining me now, someone who served as U.S. Senator from Governor Walz's state of Minnesota, comedian Al Franken, and former Senator Al Franken. I want to talk about the convention in a second. Just in terms of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., what do you make of him, this choice that he's made?
Well, I think the bear cub was it.
You think that was the breaking point?
I think that was the breaking point.
Well,
I don't know, what was he at before, like 9% or 10%, and then suddenly down to 5 and 6%.
Yeah, maybe Harris's entry might have.
I missed your last segment. I didn't hear it, but you were talking about it.
Yeah, I was. I just was going to the details because he went to Peter Luger's steakhouse with the bear in the trunk.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. He found this bear cub on the side of the road.
Yes.
And decided he might want to eat it for dinner.
Right, as one does. Who has not had that
after you've been falconing. That was the other nice detail. So he goes into the city, and then he realizes he has dinner. He's got dinner at Peter Luger's steakhouse.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy likes meats.
Steakhouse. He likes his meats.
He likes his meat, and then he also realizes he's got a plane to catch after dinner, so he really doesn't have time. First of all, he's got to have dinner. He's having dinner anyway. So
by the way, there is the bear. The bear is that's the bear. That's him in
that's
the back.
Right.
The bear in the back.
Well, there he's got a sense of humor. You see.
He's right. So he's posing with the dead bear, pretending the dead bear is biting his hand. Yeah. He's not quite as jacked up there, I will say, as he is now. But
so he takes the bear and he dumps it in the park, right?
Yes. Yes.
Next to a bike,
so that people would think
that the bike
collided with the bear. Yeah, I'm not sure where the bike came from.
I think he must have been Bobby's bike, but
I don't know. He just had the bike in his He just had the bike in his car for those purposes to like.
When you're falconing, you have a bike to move.
Yeah,
quickly. I don't know.
Yeah, it's yeah, I can't make it up. Do you think it will help Trump in swing states?
I don't know. I think it's hard to tell. I mean, who are the 5% who are people who are left? Are they people who are, maybe they're going to stay home?
Right, yeah.
Or maybe they're going to equally divide between Harris. I mean, does his endorsement mean a lot to these people?
Right. You know, Governor Walz, you were, for his first race, he talked about running for Congress. He was a high school teacher, coach. Everybody knows that. Most people know that story by now. But when he chose to run, he said he had no money, no real connections, but he just decided to go for it.
Yeah, I went to somebody's house for a fundraiser. My wife and I went. There was nobody else there, and they had 2 mortgages on their house.
This is when he was running for his first campaign.
In the 6th district. You have to understand this is the southern tier of Minnesota. It's a rural district. It has a couple cities in it. It has Rochester, where the Mayo Clinic is, and it has Mankato, where he's.
So you show up, nobody's there except.
You show up, no one's there except me and my wife, and he's incredibly great. And so
he was giving his pitch to you, basically, in the living room.
Yeah, and the host. And so my wife and I fell in love with him, and I said, well, and then we maxed to him, and I had a PAC at the time, Political Action Committee, and so it maxed to him, and then I hosted some kind of big fundraiser for him.
What was it about him? Because I mean, You know, the guy we saw on the stage, was he like that already? He was clearly not as polished.
No,
But what was it about him?
but
That,
his essence was not polished, but his essence was there.
right.
And I immediately liked him, and we I did a fundraiser where we got him enough money so he could keep going, and I started campaigning with him around the 6th, and Rahm Emanuel was head of the DCCC at the time,
Right.
and I called him up and I go, this guy's incredibly talented, and he goes, he can't win.
Wow.
He can't win. No
Because
one's
it was a red district.
It's a completely red district. I think no one had won, a Democrat had not won since the 1800s or something like that. Yeah, and so I just kept kind of going around the 6th district with him and introducing him, and I kept calling Ram up, or his guy, Ram's guy, and say, you gotta support this guy. And then one day, I finally got a call from Ram's guy. He said, we're going to put $50,000 into Mankato. And I said, Mankato. He said, oh, I'm sorry. I go, no, call it Mankato, give him $50,000. And so they did, and then he ended up winning. And
How was he able to do that in a red district?
he's a great campaigner. And it was also, that was 06. And 06 was the year that Democrats took over the Congress.
So even though
the war in Iraq,
even though this was his first campaign, I mean, you were out on the trail with him. He was
connecting with people.
that was the bottom line.
Yeah, and he'd go to college campuses and connect with the college kids, and they'd volunteer. I mean, he did it all the right way, but it just took a while to build.
What did you make of his speech at? I mean, seeing his son.
The convention was
seeing
amazing.
his son there.
Oh yeah,
crying and saying, "That's my dad." I mean, as somebody who has two little
that's
kids,
my dad.
like, I dream that my kids will one day say that about me.
They won't. I kind of doubt that. But no, I was very moved by it, and of course there are some people who criticize it, which is crazy. And but no, what a beautiful moment.
Yeah,
that's
incredible.
my dad.
Yeah, it's the best. We're out of time, but I would love to talk to you longer.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Let's go to Peter Luger's Steakhouse.
Yeah, let's go there.
Find a bear.
Yeah. Well, no, not on a day I find a bear.
Okay.
You know, he roasted a dog. Did you hear this?
I heard. I saw some sort of a picture. Was it an actual dog?
According to Jonathan Alter, who said he checked up on it,
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
he roasted where the worm from the brain worm could have come from, I would think.
Senator Franken, thank you for your time.
You bet.
I appreciate it. Up next, a CNN investigation on how Donald Trump